Hello and welcome back to the Impact Play, impacting more than just gaming. Our focus is simply to make a positive impact that branches out beyond just the gaming space and to bring positivity into much clearer perspective. Be part of the live show Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv the Impact Play, or later on YouTube, or even on your favorite podcast platforms such as Spotify, Google Podcast, Overcast, Pandora, and so much more. Just simply type in the Impact Play. Moving forward, we are diversifying the show and putting the spotlight on people of color, video game developers, content creators, and overall people of impact. If you know someone you believe would be a perfect fit, let us know on social. Let us know by sending us an email over at contact@theimpactplay.com. I am your show host, it's Yaku, and this is episode 64. On the agenda, we will be discussing Sony's apology for the messy PS5 pre-order launch. Cyberpunk 2077's campaign will be a lot shorter than you think. And that's essentially it, but we will have more news stories for you all. But those are the major ones. So, let's go on to the first segment. What we discuss, what we have been playing, what we look forward to, what are we enjoying, and so on. So, what I've been playing a lot of, if you've been watching my streams over at twitch.tv/itsyagu, ITSYAGOOH. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Mobile, and I believe it was Friday was my first mobile stream, to be more precise. It went okay, but of course, since it was my first mobile stream, it wouldn't go without any kinks, without any bugs and what have you. So it didn't go as smoothly, but it went on nonetheless. But we did have fun. But hopefully as we go, I'll be able to work out those kinks. So if you wanna tune into mobile streaming, and the first game I am focused on is Call of Duty Mobile, and later on, once we get the hang of it, once we are playing a lot more, I will go ahead and branch that out to other mobile games such as PUBG Mobile. That's one of the games that I am keeping an eye on that I haven't played just yet. And yeah, I know there is a lot of hot games going on now, such as Fall Guys and Among Us. I've got ahead and purchased Among Us, but I wasn't able to play it yet because I know there's public rooms that you were able to join, but with my first experience, I had no idea what I was doing, so I was trying to join any open room, but with very little success. Hopefully, I'll be since I know a lot more, I'll be able to play with that and give you my first-hand experience with it and my hands-on with the game. And second on Fall Guys, even though I know it's on PC as well, in addition to PlayStation 4, I haven't purchased the game due to one thing. I'm still waiting on crossplay, because I know a lot of people that are on the PlayStation 4 console, and I play mainly on PC, and I don't have a PS4 console just yet. So I want to be able to play with other people and a lot more of my friends. So I'm gonna wait on that and wait until they have crossplay integrated into the game. Then I will go ahead and buy it, essentially. And that's about it for gaming wise. What I'm looking forward to. Everything else I kind of discussed on Thursday's episode. If you weren't aware, we usually do our live show Sundays, but when there are times where there are a lot of news, or there's like a special occasion where, for instance, we had a PS5 pre-order launch, or we have like a big event that just dropped, we can't wait until our normal Sunday episode, so we go ahead and do another episode throughout the week. So we're essentially a gaming news podcast, a gaming news show at its core. So yeah. And then, so I guess we'll move on to our next segment, which we talk about the gaming news and the news in general related to the gaming industry. So, what we have here, where are you? Okay. PlayStation. I have a list of every PlayStation Plus collection game that will be on that service. That will be at launch on day one at no additional cost. So we have God of War, Bloodborne, Monster Hunter World, Final Fantasy 15, Fallout 4, Mortal Kombat 10, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, Ratchet and Clank, Days Gone, Until Dawn, Detroit Become Human, Battlefield 1, Infamous Second Son, Batman Arkham Knight, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us, Persona 5, and Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. And then we'll go on to the next news story here. Cyberpunk 2077's campaign will be a lot shorter than The Witcher 3 because a lot of people didn't finish it. And it doesn't mean that's going to be a very short game. It's just going to be, it's going to have a less of a more open world than The Witcher 3 was. Or is, I should say. Because, like, for instance, if you look at Assassin's Creed, it's such an open world and you have so many things to do. You have so many side quests, then you have the main quest, and so many of these collectibles they have to go out, and the world is just humongous. But Cyberpunk 2077 took a look at Witcher 3, and a lot of people didn't finish it. So why else would they make the campaign, quote-unquote, shorter? Because a lot of people go out and explore, regardless. So CD Projekt Red has said that 2077's campaign will be a lot shorter. Oh, we already said this. As spotted by Rezer Era user Saucy Car P-Dog on John Carnage's Twitch stream. Senior quest designer Patrick K. Mills on the post show of the third 2077 Night City Wire said that the campaign for 2077 will be slightly shorter than The Witcher 3 because even a lot of people got very far in the game. Not as many made it all the way to the end. The difference between a completionist run and a main story run, we do know that the main story run in Cyberpunk 2077 is slightly shorter than The Witcher 3 because we got a lot of complaints about Witcher 3's main story just being too long, Mill said. Looking at the metrics, you see tremendous numbers of people played through the game really far, but never made it to the end. We really want you to see the full story, so we did shorten the main story. Although we have lots to do, and in terms of a completionist campaign, I just don't have that number. In addition, Cyberpunk 2077 will be receiving a free DLC in addition to paid expansions, just like the third Witcher game, of course. That's not surprising. They took a look at of the metrics of their previous game and have that worked into their newest game. So it's not surprising. Okay, and speaking of Cyberpunk 2077, there was a Night City Wire not too long ago, and Paris of Gamertag Radio did do a live stream. Should I say a watch along of the live stream. So during the last Night City Wire, we saw two new trailers for Cyberpunk 2077. One highlighting the city itself, and the other detailing its main gangs. Both trailers are hefty downloads of information. Some of it already mentioned in sources like the recent World of Cyberpunk 2077 book published by Dark Horse. Some of it elaborating on things we've already seen. About 30 seconds into postcards from Night City Wire, we get a glimpse of Johnny Silverhand at a foot stand. He's probably not really there. Of course, since he's just a manifestation of the digital Johnny inside the protagonist's head. Shame he can't enjoy the meat skewers. An overview of the Night City media includes a montage of local TV programs and celebrities like Ziggy Q, the guy in the gold jacket who's apparently the host of a variety show called The Night After Night with Ziggy Q. One of his guests looks like she might be Lizzie Wizzy, the pop star voiced by real world singer Grimes. Ziggy Q may not be as big as a name as he seems, though take a closer look at the moment where he struts past his screaming fans. And you'll see those fans are all mannequins. Oh, I haven't noticed actually, to be honest. After that come of the pop stars with cybernetic eyes. The spider look is particularly freaky. According to the World of Cyberpunk 2077 book, these are members of US Cracks, a manufactured pop group sponsored by Kroshi Opticals, who all sport Kyoshi brand eyes. Following some nightclub scenes, we'll see the protagonist's point of view as they take 20 milligrams of something or other. Pay attention to the hands in the scene immediately following, and you'll see they're different. The ring and tattoo are the same as Johnny Silverhand's, and the next scene where he's taking a swing from a bottle while a lady, the something below the view of the camera is probably one of his memories we'll see in flashback. The illustrations of homelessness, crime, and police response that follow that include a view of Max Tack, officer from one of the psycho squads who deal with sufferers of cyberpsychosis. His gear looks almost exactly the same as the gear worn in the first Cyberpunk 2077 teaser trailer, all the way back in 2013. After one look at the digital Keanu Reeves, this trailer ends with a promo for the Night City Tourism website, which is real and full of pub versions of the billboard advertisements that populate all of these moody shots of the cityscape. One of them is for a car called the Arendite, a name it shares with one of the best swords Geralt can find in The Witcher 3. A nice little Easter egg. The second trailer, Gangs of Night City, opens on Takomura, an NPC we don't know very much about, except that he must be important since he already has an action figure and a Funko Pop. Yes, there was also a quick name drop of the Scavs, from other sources have said they're the gang who deal in aftermarket cybernetics, which is a polite way of saying they kill people and harvest their augmentations and their organs and anything else of value. The first gang probably featured are the Maelstrom, who aren't into illegal body modification and rock a lot of cybermeal plating. Their headquarters is the Tunetzel Club, which players of the Cyberpunk 2077 tabletop RPG will remember. That's a nice little thing. I don't know, there is a tabletop thing. Okay. Along with the Maelstrom themselves. This is what they looked like back then. Okay, we can't exactly show that, but yeah. Sidekick NPC. Let's see, is there anything else? I don't want to read this whole article. I guess I'll read it. There's not that much left of it. Where is it? Okay. Cyberpunk NPC Jackie introduces the Valentinos, who seems to have evolved from the Prosser gang of Cyberpunk 2020. Has become a primarily Hispanic gang with a thing for Santa Muerta iconography. Their rivals are 6th Street, proud American subordinates who Johnny Silverhand is apparently not a fan of. That's Kino complaining they vomit lofty patriotic bullshit all day. Next up are the Voodoo Boys, who are hackers or net runners. In the slang of cyberpunk, the cyber cop talking about the Black Wall is a member of Netwatch, the computer police who prevent rogue AIs from the old net from breaking through the back wall into the safe in a regulated cyberspace of 2077. The Voodoo Boys want to tear down that wall for reasons of their own accord, though we see one of them presumably about to cut off a chicken's head. Whether they do much with the voodoo theme remains to be seen. Maybe he's just about to get a stew going. Here's a Mike Pundit discussing the Voodoo Boys and the Animals, a booster gang who bulk up with that grown implanted muscles, ultra testosterone, and equine growth hormone. And yet in the trailer they howl like wolves instead of neighing like horses. Missed opportunity, if you ask me. According to a World of Cyberpunk book, the Tiger Claws are based out of Japantown, but contain members whose heritage come from other parts of Asia as well. They've got close ties to the Arasaka Corporation, who provide them with gear. The guy with the glowing red mantis blades on his arms is rocking a tiger claw mask with a Arasaka logo on it, and his shoulder pad is Osaka branded as well. Yeah, that's pretty much essentially it, but the trailer ends with an aerial map of Night City, though there's one thing missing from it: the Orbital Aerospace Center that ferries passengers into Earth orbit. Whether that's just an omission is something to be explained in the next round of trailers, or in the game itself. We'll just have to wait and see. Wow, that was a lot of reading. But next, FYI, pre-orders for the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S are starting September 27th. I'm sorry, September 22nd. Let me see. It's finally happening. Get to your local time and participating retailers here. Let me get that link. Let me see. Okay, I'll read them briefly for you guys. United States starts at 8 p.m. Pacific or 11 p.m. Pacific. Let's see. Let me actually look that up real quick. Just want to make sure. I said 11, right? Yeah, 11. See, I'm getting the hang of this. Canada is at 8 a.m. Pacific or 11 a.m. Okay, so each of these countries or regions are at 8 a.m. Pacific or 11 a.m. So we have United States, you could pre-order on the Microsoft Store, Amazon, Best Buy, GameStop, Walmart, and all these other participating retailers. Canada, you have the Microsoft Store, Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, EB Games, The Source, as well as others. UK, the Microsoft Store, Game, Amazon, Dixon, Curry's PC World, Arger, John Lewis, Smith Toys, Vero, AO, Tesco, Simple Game, Shopto, as well as others. Australia, you have Microsoft Store, JB Hifty, EB Games, Telstra, Harvey Norman, and others. And then New Zealand. Actually, yeah, these are all 8 a.m. in those specific time zones. So in UK, it's 8 a.m. BST. Australia is 8 a.m. AEST, and New Zealand is 8 a.m. New Zealand Standard Time Zone. So we have JB, Hi-Fi, EB Games, Spark, as well as others. And then across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, you can pre-order online starting 9 a.m. Central. Let me look that up real quick, which is 3 a.m. Eastern. Oh. Peter is also available via the Xbox All Access program. So same essentially time zones, except we have Denmark at 9 a.m. CS Central Eastern. And then we have Finland 9 a.m. Central Eastern. We have Norway same time, and Sweden same time. So that's it on that front. That's essentially it. But I'm gonna go ahead and share that article and those in chat. Copy link. Those interested in pre-ordering the next generation Xbox consoles. So we're gonna go ahead and go into Sony. On Twitter, PlayStation tweeted this. Let's be honest, PS5 pre-orders could have gone a lot smoother. We surely apologize. Over the next few days, we will release more PS5 consoles for pre-order. Retailers will share more details, and more PS5s will be available throughout the end of the year. So there you go. They issued an apology. Why? Because they know they could have controlled it. But Microsoft, on the other hand, let me go ahead and pull that tweet. Let's see. Let me exactly what they tweeted. Let me find out real quick. Where are you? All right, here it is. I just did a quick Google search and I found it. Okay. So attempting to get your hands on a PS5 the next few days has been short of a bloodbath. Whatever we know about that, we don't care about that right now. We just talked about that. We care about the Xbox. Microsoft quickly came online to taunt Sony and says that this wouldn't happen with its dedicated September 22nd pre-order date, which has long been announced. Microsoft will be going a step further to ensure that the PS5 chaos doesn't happen with its own release. Okay. Actually, let's look up the tweet. Okay, here it is. This is coming from Jeff Keighley. This is simple enough. Okay. This is coming from his Twitter account. I've heard that Xbox will be penalizing retailers by lowering allocations if they break these embargoes. So hopefully these times will hold. So this is the best way to avoid this fiasco. Because as soon as the Sony PS5 showcase ended, a lot of online retailers made PS5 pre-orders available that same moment. But why would they go ahead and go against Sony's back? Because they care about money, essentially. They just want as many pre-orders as they want. But please note that even though you, even if you had a pre-order, does not mean that you are guaranteed to get a console on day one. Because they've done this consistently in the past, and especially on Amazon. If you pre-ordered there, you are not guaranteed to get it on day one. So please keep that in mind with any console, whatever you pre-order, just in general. And yeah, we'll just have to wait on Tuesday and see. Because I am thinking about maybe pre-ordering the S, just simply because it's an all access, it's cheap, it's a monthly thing, even though I don't really need a Series S, just because it includes Game Pass Ultimate. It's like a deal. So I'm leaning towards to maybe pre-ordering it, but I'm definitely looking for a PS4 as well. So if anyone has consoles that they're trying to get rid of, let me know in Discord or on social media. So simply type !Discord to join our ever-growing community. Let's see. We have Game Devs of Color Expo happening now. If you guys want to tune in, let me share you guys the Everbright registration thing. URL. If you guys are interested. It's going on. It started actually yesterday. Today's the last day. It's only 2 days long. Okay. So that's done. We did that. What's this? Notification. Nope. Okay. What's this? Maybe just go through this real quick, see if it's worth mentioning. Okay, this is interesting. NVIDIA put this out. This morning, we saw unprecedented demand for the GeForce RTX 3080 at global retailers, including the NVIDIA online store at 6 a.m. Pacific or 9 a.m. Eastern. We attempted to push the NVIDIA store live despite preparation. The NVIDIA store was inundated with traffic and encountered an error. We were able to resolve the issues and sales registering normally. To stop bots and scalpers on the NVIDIA store, we're doing everything humanly possible, including manually reviewing orders to get these cards in the hands of legitimate customers. Over 50 major global retailers had inventory at 6 a.m. Pacific. Our NVIDIA team and partners are shipping more RTX 3080 cards every day to retailers. We apologize to our customers for this morning's experience. Because they all went out of stock pretty much day one. And here's another game that's also coming to PS4 that was a surprise to a lot of people, which is Horizon Forbidden West. And speaking of cross-generation is great because that is an approach that Xbox has been doing since pretty much last year, since they were teasing us with next generation. But they got a lot of hate of it because it's gonna be hold back production to take full advantage of the hardware, blah blah blah. Even though PC's been doing it for years, but Sony, actually, here it is. I'm gonna put up an article here. The Sony confirms PS5 will have exclusive games playable only at next generation hardware. A strategy that stands in contrast to Microsoft's Xbox approach. So, Jim Ryan said that his company's upcoming device, which will have games that you cannot play on existing PS4 devices. We have always believed in generations. We believe that you go all the trouble in creating the next generation console, that it should include features and benefits that the previous generation does not include. Technical debate. So they even said this previously, that they believe in generation, that you should go into the generation pretty much fresh and have all these games exclusive just to that platform. But what happened during the PS5 showcase? A lot of these games are going to be playable on the older platform, on PS4. But did they get any hate? Of course not. People are just happier, blah blah blah. So that is what I'm not understanding. My Xbox always gets hate no matter what, but if Sony tries to follow that, not fully, but follow it at least a little bit, they get love for it. So come on, guys. It's not. I'm not bashing those companies. I'm just bashing those people that complain, that bash Xbox but don't bash PlayStation for the same exact thing. So that is just, come on. Me personally, I enjoy both platforms. I have a PC as well as a Nintendo Switch, an Xbox, and I'm going to get a PS4. Even next year, I'm gonna have all three. When they introduce a new Nintendo Switch console, the Xbox Series X, the Xbox Series next generation console, as well as the PlayStation 5 console. So I'm gonna have all three. I'm not bashing those companies. I enjoy those companies, those products that they make for us, because they're giving us value for our money. But it's just those people who blindly follow one but bash the other. But they're doing the same exact thing. So it is what it is, I guess. So enough of me venting, so to speak. We'll move on to the next. Actually, I wanted to not correct myself, but give further information to what I mentioned on Thursday's episode. I said that Wonder Woman 1984 might be delayed. It is delayed. It was expected to go live in theaters on October 2nd, but it's been pushed back to December 25th of this year. Okay, let's see. Michael Ants quits game development. Notable games developer Michael Ansel is leaving the industry. He announced his departure via Instagram, where Ansel said he will stop working on video games and fully focus on his second passion, wildlife. While he didn't go into detail, the developer said he will be working at the Wildlife Open Sanctuary dedicated to education. Ansel is best known as the creator of the Rayman franchise back in 1995, as well as the Rabbids spin-off series in 2003's cult hit Beyond Good and Evil. He has worked in video games for more than 30 years. Ansel assured that both the projects he was working on, Beyond Good and Evil 2 and open world survival game Wild, are in good hands, and he has not directly been involved for several months now. So yeah, so thank you for everything you've done, everything you've given us, and enjoy your next venture. Bandai Namco acquires Unknown 9 developer Reflector Entertainment. The deal also includes the studio's subsidiary Reflector Interactive Productions, and is expected to close in the fourth quarter of this year. When it does, co-founder Alexandra Armancio will become Reflector's Chief Creative Officer and operator alongside Bandai Namco's Vice President for Content, Marketing, and Digital, Harv's Orart. Okay, we're done on that little article. Bunch multiplayer gaming social app Bunch has closed $20 million in Series A funding to continue to grow its user base and platform. The round was led by generalist Catalyst and including major game companies such as EA, Krafton, Take-Two Interactive, Ubisoft, Supercell, Riot Games, Miniclip, Mixi, and Colapo. Other investors include LVP, North Zone, Streamlined Ventures, Convoy Ventures, One Team Ventures, Velo Partners, Golden Venture Partners, and Alvin Capital Partners. Okay, with the funding, Bunch intends to continue to grow its user base as well as integrate more multiplayer games into its platform. So Bunch is a social app that allows players to connect over video game chat and play multiplayer titles together, and include a feature for developers to integrate the platform directly into their games. I'm gonna look into that. Interesting. Also, it's available for the App Store and Google Play. So I'm gonna go ahead and download that as well. Install. Yeah, that's my phone. And then let me install it on my Apple. Let's see. What's this about? Okay, I think I'm done. The rest of the news stories. Let's see if there's any last minute news stories. And yeah. Let me check on that for a moment. Oh yeah. Mario 3D All-Stars came out 2 days ago. So I will do a live stream on it as well. So either on my personal channel or the Impact Plays Twitch channel. So be sure that you're following both and have notifications on. And today is Pokemon Go Community Day. So after we end the stream, I'm going to go ahead and participate in that. And I might do a live stream. Oh, so that's what the controller is. Gears Tech is getting a launch edition controller. And it's $170 for the controller as well as the stand. Which is crazy. Okay, speaking of launch title, Gears Tactics is one of them, as well as Observer System Redux is another one launch title. And what's this about? Okay, this is coming from Jim Ryan. Okay, here it is. Sony discusses the importance of generation exclusives and why it's not going after Xbox Game Pass. Why, on its own, there probably isn't too much to say about last night or the last PlayStation 5 event. There were a handful of AAA first-party games that will delight Sony's audience, including Cyberman. We know about that. Okay, here it is. Okay, 7 years now, and a lot have happened. Ryan begins. We've obviously, on the one hand, built this large community, but on the other, there's been a lot of technology changes and advances, which only really interest us in the extent that they enable transformative change in the way that people play and experience games. For us, the time to capture that and to make a big step is with a console transition or platform transition, what we call the generation approach. We know it's not the only model, but it's the one that we like. Other models are possible. It is perfectly legit to pursue the approach more around the homogenization of community, homogenization of gaming experiences. We like to be a bit more nuanced than that and find a way to give different segments of the community a gaming experience that is more appropriate to their needs. That has been the key. That has been the emergence of the last years of worldwide studios into an absolute powerhouse, and network studios making great games. We've been quietly but very steadily investing in the largely organic growth of that network. I think that's about it, but I'm just gonna make sure if there's anything worth noting or mentioning. Oh, here it is. The PlayStation Plus collection is not a replacement for Sony's PlayStation Now streaming sub-service. It's a separate offering, and one that looks to counter some of the appeal offered by Xbox Game Pass. Xbox, of course, is all in on the subscription play, putting all of its games onto the service on the day they're released. We've spoken to Ryan. Okay, here it is. This is coming from him. For us, having a catalog of games is not something that defines a platform. Ryan says our pitch, as you've heard, is new games, great games. We have had this conversation before. We're not going to go down that road of putting new release titles into a subscription model. Those games cost many millions of dollars, well over 100 million to develop. We don't see that as sustainable. We want to make the games bigger and better, and hopefully at some stage more persistent. So putting those into a subscription model on day one for us just doesn't make any sense. For others in a different situation, it might make sense. So there you go. These two well-known large companies have two different approaches and two different business models. One is pursuing subscription services, even though that's what Microsoft is known for. The other, Sony, is focused on a more traditional approach to consoles and gaming and games. So that's why there should be no comparison between these two companies, like no huge comparisons, because Xbox Game Pass is focusing on one thing, while PlayStation or PlayStation Plus is focusing on something completely different. That's why these console wars are nothing but fanboys, quote unquote, from either console console wars are so ridiculous. It's not even worth mentioning. There's no point in them. For a piece of plastic, for just a piece of tech that one company built, come on. Gaming should be made to enjoy, regardless of the platform, regardless of the ecosystem you're part of, whether it be PC, the Nintendo, old school hardware. Enjoy your games the way you want to enjoy them. Simple as that. Who cares the way? If someone else enjoys playing a game in one particular way, that does not affect your own enjoyment. So enjoy your games, plain and simple. Okay, I think we're pretty much done. I guess I'll mention this before we end this segment. Twitch has been experimenting with mineral ads in, I guess, certain Twitch channels. That's what it usually does when it tries to test new features. With mineral ads, it mutes the stream, minimizes it, and shows the screen in a bigger in place of it. So a lot of creators and a lot of streamers have been complaining because, for instance, for us as a podcast, it would put us on mute, so it would decrease your experience and ruin your enjoyment of your content, of the stream you're watching. So good thing they rolled back on that. Like, yeah, a lot of even myself, I've complained on Twitter as well. Let's see what's this. Okay, so next we're gonna go on to reader mail. And we want to know your feedback, your thoughts, and any questions you may have by sending us reader mail over at our Discord, by leaving a voice note over at anchor.fm/THEIMPACTPLAY, or even by sending us an email to readermail@theimpactplay.com. Okay, let's see. Let's check Discord and let's check the email. See if we have anything submitted. Nothing in Discord. Let's check the email. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. So, we are experimenting with a new thing where we highlight an amazing creator on the show that goes above and beyond to innovate, hack, or even repurpose every item that revolve around video games. If you want to be featured, be sure to contact us via Discord or even by sending us an email at creatorspotlight@theimpactplay.com. So let's see if we have anyone. We talked about someone on Thursday's episode, so let's see. I guess not. So reading mail is done. We did that. So we're essentially done with the episode. Let me see. I want to experiment with something, with a command. Yes. Oh. Did that not work?
Talk. Thank you for coming.
Let me see. Let me do it again. See if that command works. Yeah, okay, I gotta look into this. So let's do that fully. Yeah, the commands aren't working at all. I have no idea why. So I'm gonna look into that further. And that's essentially it. So thank you guys so much for making Impact Play a part of your day. Be sure to join the Discord and be a part of our growing community. Well, we are more than that. We are a family. You can be a part of the live show by leaving us a voice note over at anchor.fm/TheImpactPlay. Who knows, we may even be featured on a future episode of the show. Leave us a review or even a rating on your favorite platform. Have a great one until next time. But before we go ahead and end this, I want to make a quick note. Guys, your support helps make the Impact Play continuing on, and even bringing on more guests and more creators onto the show. So please help us reach affiliate level by sharing it, by following us, and by simply sharing the live stream. So thank you guys so much, and have a great one. Until next time, folks.